Thank you for joining us for another episode of USATF's Journey to Goal Zone podcast. I'm your host, Erik, Kynard Jr., joined by the Wallace, Spearman Jr. I thought you was going to say your name that time. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, this evening, today, we have a special guest with us. He is the resurgence of Trayvon Bromell since it's been a little bit of time since we've seen him. Welcome back, my brother. How are you?
Man, what's going on, man? Blessed. Can't complain at all.
Well, we thank you for joining us, and it has been a while, and I'm very interested to hear about your progress through the adversities you face as it relates to being on the track and returning back to the track. We understand you opened up your indoor season here rather soon this past weekend at Texas Tech, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Lubbock, what'd you do out there in that 60 meters, my brother?
Man, it was an interesting dynamic because at first we thought we was going to run with like the collegiate athletes, like as you seen with the 400, I want to say the 200, and even some of the jumps. They was able to run and compete with the college athletes. Well, with the 60, it was only three of us. So mentally, I was just like, all right, I'm just looking at it like another training day. When I got out the blocks, I want to say I got to like my fourth step, and honestly, mentally, I was just like, man, I'm not taking this serious. So when I look back and watch my video, I'm like, man, you can honestly tell, like I was just pretty much jogging the park. I got to about 40 meters, really just high step through the line. And when I seen the time, I was actually more shocked because when I hit the wall, I was like, man, I hope this ain't like no 6'8" or no 6'7". This ain't going to be good. So when I bounced off the wall and I seen 662, I said, oh. And the crazy thing is my coach, he had told me probably a few weeks back, probably going into like the winter break, he was like, man, you in shape. He was like, I think we in like 6'5" shape right now. And we haven't even like, in all honesty, we ain't like did no accelerations. I was kind of frustrated because I'm like, dang, when we going to spike up? Because indoors right around the corner. Like, yeah. I'm seeing everybody doing starts, excels. I'm seeing some of the hurdlers going over hurdlers. I'm like, man, I'm still running 350s, 400s. I'm like, all right. So then I did like some 1080 work. Seeing some of the times, I'm like, all right. So then when I ran that time, I was like, we in a good space. So everything been moving smooth.
Now, it's interesting that you say that, the mental aspect of that race was cumbersome because, you're not shy or not, a first-timer to big races. I mean, 2015 bronze medalist in 100 meters world championships. 2016 World Indoor Championships in Portland, gold medal. Eugene 2022, bronze, Diamond League champion. In the mental game of running, and especially, with the adversities you face, which we'll get into, how do you make those adjustments mentally? And especially in those scenarios where you feel like you may, A, not be prepared to perform at the standards you have for yourself, or B, maybe kind of a little hamstrung by the circumstance of the competition, i.e., you're not in a hot race. So, and you act like people lining up to race you in the 60, man. Who want to jump in that 60 in college, man, and race against you? Talk about some of only three.
Why you trying to beat up on them young boys like that?
Everybody trying to race against
you. I mean, they ran fast. They ran fast, man. Them boys out there running 6'5" lows. It was real smooth. They was running fast. A lot of college athletes, they doing their thing right now.
Yeah. But, so talk to me about how do you make those adjustments mentally and still, obviously perform and run and perform at, world-class level?
Man, it's a craft, man. I don't think people take into consideration how important the mental aspect is. I study a lot of the psychology aspect of athletics, and just from a human situation standpoint, we got to realize you got to know when to turn it on and off. And I know that's very cliche to say. Most coaches tell us that. A lot of athletes that come before us tell us that. And even ourselves that's in the present world tell the younger athletes that, like, hey, be ready to turn it on and off. Be ready to go calm mode, the killer mode instantly when you get in a competition. Not really understanding that the dynamics of your environment always going to play from an emotional standpoint and a psychology standpoint on how you react. And that's one thing you can't neglect. You may be dealing with a death. You may be dealing with some people in our sport, like finances. You deal with bad weather, so on and so forth. So those environments bring different emotions, no matter who you are. I don't care how strong you are. That's just the genetic makeup. For me, my motivation is more so where I come from, how I grew up. You got to deal with different environments, whether you living in the projects, living in rural areas where things just don't look promising. You got to learn how to kind of navigate through those situations and those environments come with different paths and avenues. So for me, I just look at it like that from some standpoints. And in all actuality, sometimes it's probably not good to just, go balls to the wall and drop a hot time right off the bat. So maybe that was just my place where it's like, Trey, just get through the race. There's bigger fish to fry down the road.
Do you feel like you're back?
Honestly, I felt like I never left. Like, what I mean by that is the talent don't go nowhere. Like I said, I'm only 29 years old. People forget I came into the sport young, but I also, from a negative connotation, I got hurt as well. Yeah. So I didn't use my body that much. So when people see me come back and I drop a hot time, I'm like, y'all, I didn't really use my body like that in my career. So for me, from a psychic standpoint, I'm like, I look at people like Gatlin who had longevity, and I feel like I could fit into that mold because I haven't used my body that much.
Who also due to circumstance, who also due to circumstance, had a lot less miles on their body. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so when people who are close-knit to me and know me and understand how I operate, man, I eat well. I work hard day in and day out. I mean, I've always had to since I was young because of my injuries. So I try to work twice as hard as any of my competitors and things and so forth. So I look at the longevity aspect even when nobody else do. So that's also a motivating factor to know, like, hey, I'm always trying to dot those I's and cross those T's because I know you're going to have people that try to move on to the next up-and-comer. They lose faith and things of that much, So for me, I just got to keep moving and doing what I need to do.
And in the spirit of keeping moving and doing what you need to do, talking about moving, you recently have moved back to your old stomping grounds, obviously Waco, Texas, Baylor University, Big 12 champ, 100 meters, Big 12 champ, 200 meters, I believe Big 12 champions in 4x1, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That was the shorts and speed top trade days, headband, everything.
Man. I still get people asking me to go back to that, man. I tried it once. It just ain't the same, man. Some things is just certain places in your life, right? Like you gotta close that door and go to the next one. So
and you've now reopened the door, and you're back in Baylor, back with Coach Ford. Talk about how being in a new and familiar, renewed environment, I would say, not new environment. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's not the same Waco you left as the small towns.
Nah, man, Waco coming up. Yeah. No, it's been good, man. It's crazy. I walk in the stores. I'm walking through Walmart. People recognize me instantly. Not just Trayvon, the Olympic athlete, but like they know me because this is my alma mater, right? Like I'm walking in Walmart, literally probably the first week of me being back. They like, Trey. I'm like, I'm on the phone with my wife, and I'm like, what do you like? Dang, people still recognize me, you know what I'm saying? Because you grow older, man. I did leave after my second year, so it could be easy for somebody to forget, especially in a sport that we're trying to bring more eyes to it. So, it was actually a shock to me, but I'm like, okay, this home. And then being around my mentor, he like a father figure to me. He married actually me and my wife, and then Coach Ford is also like another father figure who's been there for me since high school, in all honesty, because a lot of people don't know the story. He was the only one out of the colleges who did not give up. My grades wasn't good. I couldn't get into no schools, but he was like, hey, we're going to make a way. I owe him everything for that. So for me, I'm coming back to home. I know I'm from Florida, like everybody know that, but this is also my home, and it didn't feel like nothing new when I came back.
You keep talking about this, my wife. Now, you and I have known each other since, man, red light, green light. But this wife, hey, bro, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm really proud of you in that, and, big step that you're taking. But talk to us about that. Does that bring you peace? Like knowing when you go home now, I got something to go home to.
I don't think people realize the beauty behind marriage. Obviously, everybody know who follow me on social media, my background when it comes to my faith. And I cherish that because you leave your family to cleave to your wife. You cleave to that unity that is also a spinning image of what Christ has for the church and what God has for the body of the world and his chosen people. And the thing about now being married, like you said, I come home to a person that's to death do us part. When the world come down on you, when you may be going through it with your family members, when it's all said and done, that person is by your side. And you understand that structure of how much Christ loved his bride when you know you will do whatever it takes for this person. Like, bro, my motivation now is not just a gold medal. is that I don't want her to feel no struggle. I want her to be happy, and not from like a financial standpoint, but me as the man being a leader, I have to provide and make sure that she is nurtured and comfortable in her position for her to do her job that God ordained her to do. So now it's bigger than a gold medal. This is my life. I got to take care of what I need to take care of as a man, not as an athlete, not as a stewardess, but an evangelist and a man of my household. I got to lead her properly. For me to do so, I got to move correctly, and I got to be in an environment that allows me to do so.
Yeah. You, like you said, now married, and now, you know, for those who don't follow you on social media, you now present a renewed mind and a renewed perspective in your faith. How important was that in overcoming the adversities you faced, you know, as it relates to health, not only from a mental health standpoint, but from a physical health standpoint in regards to injuries and returning to sport? Because I know you did undergo surgery, correct?
Yeah. Undergo surgery that 2023 right after the trial. So it's a journey, man. And like any scripture you'll read in the Bible, any motivational doctrine that's given out to the world, everybody has their shortcomings, their trials, their tribulations, all these mountains that they got to climb, right? For me, my faith was tested in a lot of those since not only just a young age, but even as an adult. And we got to realize that affliction that you deal with in the real world, it's not just going to come in athletics. It's going to come when you get out of the sports, which I try to constantly preach to these kids coming up. Get a degree, stay focused. I get sports is cool, but it's going to have an expiration date. So for me, it was a test of understanding through long suffering, will I still keep my faith even when things may not look good right away? Because biblically, everything did not look pretty. In the real world, everything don't look pretty. So how do you stay content in your faith or your belief, whatever, you know, whoever watches this believe in? How do you stay content in that in the time of affliction? For me, I had to search the scriptures. Who dealt with situations like this? You got Job, you got Joseph, you got all these people. Christ himself, they never broke. Even when Job, you look at the story, his wife wanted him to cuss the Lord. His friends were leading him in the wrong direction. Stayed consistent and content in the Lord. Christ, he was willing to die for what his father told him to go and do for the will. So at the end of the day, I have to see those examples and live by that. And that's what helped me through these situations. Man, yeah, I can look at it like I'm 29, I'm having surgery and stuff like that, and I'll be like, oh, man, I can just beat myself into a pulp and not make a comeback. Or I can look at it like, hey, it's just another stone I just got to step right over. It is what it is. Yeah. It ain't going to be the last one for none of us.
I feel like if I compared you to somebody, you have Mamba mentality. We have Kobe Bryant over here, but you got the mentality. Both y'all doing the sense. So it sounds like I don't have to worry about looking on social media and seeing anybody doing wheelies on motorcycles anymore either, huh?
Yeah, is that phase gone, man?
Oh, hey, bro, what? No, I don't. Hey,
man.
Look, yes or no?
So I don't got my bikes no more. I don't got my bikes no more.
Obviously, fly to Florida, you know, boy. I'll give you the whispering of a lifetime. Get on these bikes.
Man, I'll say it like this. It was definitely a thing that helped me cope with a lot of stuff. And you know, Wallace, I shared this with you, and I shared this with a lot of people that I talked to. When you got that wheel in the air, when you get past the falling and the oh man, they're like, am I going too far back? Am I up? Man, it's something about it when you got them headphones in, you at the lot, and you just drop back and you like, I feel free. Like, I feel like people look at the Meek Mill stuff and be like, dang, I wish I could do that. But no, you don't understand, like, that thrill. Like, I remember when I first won my first big race in 100. And I'm like, I feel like everything is slow-mo. And I'm like, the world is mine. Like, you get that same adrenaline rush and feeling with a lot of other things in life. It is a dangerous thing. So I tell anybody, if you do it, wear your helmet. I will also advise, if you're an athlete, don't do it. I just always came up being like a little daredevil and everything like that. So it really didn't scare me. But don't got the bikes no more. Wife don't like it like that. She think it's cool, but she like, I don't want to see my man hurt. So, and obviously, as you know, the viewers in the sport, as long as I'm running fast, I know they don't want to see me hurt either. So I stepped away from it for the time being. And hey, I don't know what the future might bring. So
here we go.
Tell death do us part.
I don't know what it might. Look.
So part with the bike, so we ain't got to worry about the death, all right?
Yeah, no.
On, hey, man.
If I gave him up, you can give him up. I know.
Hold on, you was about the bike life too?
What?
What in the biker
That's
boys
I'm
is
over
going
being
on
a
here?
hypocrite right now, but at the end of the day, like, Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, no, I never rode a motorcycle before.
Yeah,
I know I don't have no governor.
Follow exactly.
Yeah, you already know.
You be the one on the highway doing 150 on a wheelie, so no.
Exactly. That's why I don't even do it. So, do you have any specific goals, Trey, as it relates to 2025 and this coming indoor season? Obviously, we have, Boston indoor New Balance going. And Millrose games, and then of course U.S. Indoor Championships, followed by World Indoor Championships in China. What does the wish list, the bucket list look like as it relates to indoor for you? Because although we all know that the main thing is 100 meters, you are a short sprint specialist, and the 60 for you, from my perspective in your career, and the success there is synonymous with that of the success for you in the 100 meters.
For sure. The goals is ultimately, from the whole perspective, is to win any championship that I have an opportunity to go to. Make the team, win the title. Period, point blank, right? That's the goal since we stepped on the track or stepped on the turf field day one when it came to training. As far as like small goals, obviously take one track meet at a time. And it's crazy that you asked this, because I was just talking to a young athlete at Baylor, and I was telling them this. You treat every opportunity that you get as a stepstone, but in the pro world, like you all know as well, it doesn't matter until you get the USAs and make the team. You can beat me throughout the whole season, but I can get the USAs and make the team. That's all that truly matters. These small little boxes that you're checking off throughout the season are just opportunities to test out what you've been doing in training. But when you get to the track meet, USATF, outdoor championships, indoor championships, that's when the race starts. So for me, take each race to get back in the groove, see how things are, see how the body reacts, see what we can change. Because like I said, I'm in a new program, still with a coach that I'm very understanding of, but we got to figure out now, this is no longer 19-year-old Trey, right? This 10 years later. So we just going through the motion, figuring out everything, but the mentality doesn't change. It's to win win every race that we get and an opportunity to be in.
Okay. Now, will we see you? You can choose to defer. I see you still got the crown on tight, moniker for you of sorts. Give us insight to the hat.
Man, so 7 is a variation of many things. The city I grew up in, obviously some of the homies and everything, and we run around the streets, from the 7. 727 is the area code. 34th Street is the main street that's centered down the south side of my city. You add 3 and 4 together, that's 7, right? From a biblical representation, God created everything, and His manifestation is 7 days. So it's the number of completion. This is actually a new joint that I got from a company. So say holy, holy, holy 3 times, and you got the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Christ is the head of man, and God is the head of Christ, is the body. So I wear my crown because He gave it to us, man. Us as men, we created in His image, man, and we are kings and we are gods on this earth, as He told us in the book of Psalms. So I just wear my crown, man, because He told us to.
Now, will you be representing any new brands or the same brands as it relates to sponsorships and endorsements on the track?
Right now, I just rock NB, man. The thing about getting injured, people only want the people that's doing something, right? So anybody that want to, throw some sponsors or throw any money towards me, I ain't gonna say no to it. I got. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's funny. I was telling my brother earlier today, man, my motto this year is to have freedom of debt. Everybody got their own little mantra. My thing is, look, I want my house paid off. I want my cars paid off. I don't want to think about number paying utility.
Yeah.
I look at a lot of my friends and family members and people throughout history. Everybody love to post all this lavish, Louis this, Gucci that, designer this, designer. I ain't seen nobody post no deed to their house. I ain't. I'm just. Hey, I tell you a joke. I never tell you a lie. We got to change this mentality, man. I don't want my wife to worry about no mortgage payment. Only thing you need to worry about is what car we about to switch from. That's it. Right now, her car paid off. She ain't got to worry about that. I'm about to pay my car. House, we working on that. Look, we trying to take all that down. So if anybody want to sponsor me because they want a good representation on how to be a man and handle your business, I'm right here.
You know what help you get some more sponsors?
What's up?
Running that 200 like you promised me.
Hey, it's coming. We got to get through indoors first.
Yeah, you know it ain't no 200 indoors. So.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it is, but it ain't.
Did you win the 200
at
nationals in college? Indoors?
Yeah, of course.
So it's a 200.
But I'm saying, like, world.
On the college level, though.
We got a deal.
He talking about making money, man. It ain't no two.
There's only one person right now who's running 19 seconds indoors in the 200.
Who's that?
Frankie Fredericks. You run 19 indoors, I promise you got a contract by outdoors.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, I mean, the only thing about the pro circuit indoors is we don't get that many opportunities unless we go to the college system.
You just ran a Texas
we know
Tech.
it ain't just that.
You like that?
You see how simple he's making it right now. He's making it.
Because I'm like, even in college though, you got to think how many times we had to run to get that. Like, remember before I did the 20.19, I want to say before that national track meet, the fastest I went was 20.4. So I was amping my body up, and let's be real, a lot of the reason why I ran that fast is because I got DQ'd in the 60 prelims. So I was actually running pissed. I was running mad. So that was just a different mentality that day.
Yeah, we need that mentality back so you can run this 19 low and this deuce.
I'm going to ask this, though, because I've been asking you about workouts and training, et cetera, what you've been doing. Yeah. I haven't heard you say anything about 300 or 400s in a while. It sounds like you back there. So I hear that. I'm straight to 19, off the top rope.
Hey, the thing about Baylor, as y'all know about the history of it all, is obviously it's a 400-meter school, right? So you're not going to train here without getting that type of base experience and training and, that type of orchestration when it comes to building that body, man. You're not about to just come here and think you're going to run 150s all day or 120s all day just because you're a short sprinter. It's grit. I train with 400-meter runners. There ain't no other short sprinter here with me. It's all 400-meter runners. That's it.
That boy Erik popped off a 200 today.
Hey, look, and I told him, over 200 meters, not me. No, sir, not me.
Duty. Man.
Hey. Real good. I was a high jumper, brother. I'm not going over 200 meters.
I mean, I got to ask you a question, too. I saw you dance one time, and I swear it was like you. Where did this all come from? You was doing something. Where'd you learn all that? I just know it's random, bro, but I gotta ask.
That was random, boy.
That was in the vote. I've been waiting to ask that.
So, he said you got served like Chris Brown.
So
all that.
When I was younger, my mama would do a lot of things to keep me out of trouble. Because obviously it was just me and her. She would work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So honestly, it was just ripping around the streets with the homies. But a lot of ways for her to keep me out of trouble, she'll put me in organizations and programs that's not really things I like. Like, people don't really know. I know how to golf. Like, I know how to golf real well. I just don't present it to the public because I just don't really care. But when I go, people are like, hold on, what? Because I get in trouble. I be getting kicked out of school, and my mom be like, I'm putting you in golfing. No football, no track, you going to golf. She knew I wouldn't like golf. I don't like golf. So same thing with the dancing. It's actually a dope story. So Motown, which is in Southside St. Pete, going towards the central part of the city, where what's her name? Angela Bassett actually went to the same Academy of the Arts. Because a lot of people don't know that Angela Bassett moved from New York and she actually was raised in St. Pete. So I went to the Royal Theater Arts Academy where I wanted to do rap and hip hop music. And for us to use the studio, we had to do three what is it called?
Electives.
Like 3 different classes, right? Yeah, like 3 different electives, 3 different classes. So basically I did rap, I did hip hop dance, and I did theater. So I was able to kind of learn all those things. And I mean, what I loved about it too, it was from a black cultural standpoint. So we learned hip hop all the way back to like ancient African tribes, all the way up through Motown, all the way up to obviously what we know today as hip hop. So man, like I did plays, like all that stuff, like performed on like Nutcracker and all that stuff, like during the holidays, like a lot of it. So yeah, like breakdancing, popping and locking, all that stuff, crumping. Like I knew how to do all that since a youngin'. Like, so when we see people doing it now, it's like, oh man, like it ain't nothing new to me.
So
like,
you're saying you can go to the Olympics and on the track and what is it? The dance floor.
With the breakdancing?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd have murdered them. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. No, all jokes aside, like The only thing that I could not do with breakdancing was spin on the head. That's the only thing. And it's a reason why I didn't want to learn that, because I heard if you do it too much, you go bald. And I ain't want that. That's the only reason why I didn't do that. Now, I don't know if that's scientifically true, but that's the only reason why I learned that. But everything else, like 6 steps, all that stuff with breaking, bro, I would have got us a medal. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, look, I'm gonna just tell you right now.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
It was 2016. We were at relay camp in Prairie View, and it was me, him, Gats there, Jerry and Lawson. I was about to say Christian Coleman, and Trayvon just starts. We're at the gas station pumping gas, just going back. We went to a basketball game or something. He just starts dancing, and I'm looking like, what's happening?
Like that boy good.
It looked like Stomp the Yard. I was like, bro, what you going around?
I'm talking about. I didn't believe Wallace. Wallace said, man, Trayvon can moonwalk and spikes on the track.
He
coded it forward. He coded it Michael Jackson with it. I said,
that's right there. That right there different now. I don't know about in the spikes. Not in the spikes. Get caught up, man. You get caught up in them things. For real.
New spikes.
Yeah, right. In the new
man,
I don't know about the old one. All right. Well, so I'm gonna ask this question too. I could see you doing something like, as an announcer or broadcast or put your own podcast. Every time I look up, I feel like you on somebody's podcast or somewhere, preaching or talking about the sport. It seems like you are, you pay attention more to the sport than I say most. You know what's going on. You know what it takes. So first talk to me about that, and then I ask you the second question afterwards.
Man, I love the sport, man, and I love sports in general. A lot. I'll say the topic that I will briefly touch on. The reason why I say I love sports is because I love what I see what people can do in the sport. And I always wanted to be a manager. I always wanted to be an agent, actually, more than anything. I went and got my master's in business. I actually just got a certification last year in business analytics. So I wanted to be in this field of business for athletes because I knew it was going to be a lot of people not getting what they were. I had the blessing of having a great agent that was able to change my life with a brand New Balance. And I've been able to see how things was orchestrated. So I took my understanding and went and got more within school. And it showed me a different avenue and a different perspective of sports, especially from a finance standpoint. And it's mind-blowing. And it made me realize how much athletes don't know on this side of the game of how sitting in those rooms, sitting at that table, negotiating the numbers, the black ink, how serious these things is. So I look at the sport a lot on a broader spectrum than the narrow spectrum that a lot of athletes see it from. I had these conversations with athletes all the time. Oh, I just run fast. That's it. That's just not it no more. You got to have the ability to be a brand, keep people engaged. We already see how big social media presence is. Understanding who you are as a person. People don't understand, like, you can't just be out here willy-nilly thinking you're just going to be anybody. Like, people are not just going to cleave to you just because of running fast, and the money's just not going to come to you just because you put up one good performance. It's now at a higher stake than that. But as far as the podcast aspect, man, I thought about it. Obviously, I hop on podcasts with some people that were post-track athletes. It's just not me, bro. The more I go into it, it ain't me. Now, what I've actually been talking more about with my wife is going into the coaching aspect. Man, obviously, rest in peace to Ralph, man. That hit me heavy, man, when I seen that post. Ralph, man, could tell you, I asked so many questions. When it came to biomechanics, I'm talking about I am a sponge. Writing on Facebook, all that, like, bro, I got his book here. Like, bro, if I show y'all all the biomechanic book, plyometric books, you'll be like, why does Trey, the athlete that's now in the sport, is studying all this? I'm not just an athlete. I love what I do. Not just from getting out there in front of hundreds of thousands of fans and performing. I love this. I love the science. I love the angles. I love the trajectory. I love the Newtons, understanding data. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted to be Ralph Man after the sport when Ralph Man was done. I wanted to take over biomechanics and teach people that, like, I learned from Raina. I learned from Stu McMillan. I'm learning from Dan. I'm like all these people. Like, and I'm soaking in all this information. I realize I think this is honestly where I need to be. Like, even how I'll be in some of my pro groups. I talk to some of the athletes who are hearing the same thing coming from the coach, but then they hear from me and it's like, and they're like, dang. And that's when it really clicked for me a couple of years ago. I'm like, maybe this is what God wants me to be at. Not just to mentor people on how to be the best athlete, but even with my faith, I can lead people in the right way, like mentally, emotionally, and physically.
And with that being said, I know you watch the sport, so don't beat me up later for this one, all right? You got to promise in advance.
All right.
I know there were a lot of athletes that watched you at home competing in 2021 in Tokyo, but unfortunately this year, or last year, sorry, I know you were at home watching Paris. What was that feeling like?
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you think? What'd you see? I know you were breaking down races. What were you impressed with?
Oh, yeah.
Just talk about that whole experience for me.
Man, obviously 2021 started with that. That's my own self narrative of what, went down and why I didn't perform the way I needed to perform. Just didn't put it together on the right day. Don't know still to this day what went wrong. I think it was just all mental, because physically we seen by the end of the season I still was able to run a 9.7. So I say that's just all a mental game, man. Maybe I put too much on my shoulders, took the opportunity too lightly, and it cost me. Can't do nothing about it. It's got to just move on. When watching Paris was an interesting watch for me. And it started way before the actual competition started. Obviously, I'm not going to speak heavy on it, but I got to say something. Me being a man of faith, I felt a lot of disrespect happening at the Olympics towards Christians. I'm not going to speak too much on it, but if anybody watched the opening ceremony, they've seen a lot of representations of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that was depicted in a wrong way. I'm going to just leave it at that. So that kind of got me. I called a couple of my friends, Will Clay, Omar Craddock. They know I was hot. So my entry into Paris was kind of a little shaky. I ain't gonna lie to you. But then we got to the competition aspect, and it was everything I knew it was gonna be. Obviously, I compete against a lot of the guys who went and got on the podium, especially for the 100. I watched a lot of the guys throughout the years who entered their way onto the podium, aka obviously Keyshawn, and being able to watch that all play out. It was entertaining all the way from the prelims to the finals. You honestly couldn't pick who was going to win, and for it to end almost pretty much in a blanket finish, this is where sports become interesting. We look back at the past, like we love Bolt, obviously. We love Gatlin, we love Tyson, Johan, and those guys. But when we seen certain races, we knew the possibilities of who was going to win by a big spectrum. We kind of knew based off of how things looked. I know for a fact in certain times there could have been, Gatlin 2015, obviously so on and so forth. But now it's like you don't know who's going to win the races. You don't. And I think that's the beauty of where sports is right now, and where I think we should cherish, because I think we have been in a situation where we've been blessed to see the top five. You know what I'm saying? Tyson, Gad, Johan, Bolt, Softball, we've been blessed with that top five. And I think we put those five on the rest of who comes after them. I don't think that's fair, because we all different. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be another Wallace, Spearman. There's going to be another Erik. In their own essence, it's going to be somebody else when we come in and leave. But we have to appreciate what we're seeing right now. We always say we want to see good competition. Paris was good competition. I'm talking about me and my mentor. I'm at his crib, I'm on the edge of the couch, hey, it's gonna go down. I'm like, I don't know who's gonna win. I'm standing up, watching the 100 final, like it's real. Now, obviously, I'm standing there I wish I was there, because let's get it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's you gotta appreciate what you're seeing in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's fuel to the fire. I ain't gonna lie. When the 100 was over, I said, hey, I text my coach, let's get to work. Period, point blank. I let's get to work. Hey, I text a couple people. I text my therapist. I text my coach. I said, hey, let's go. Let's go. Because at the end of the day, I know my ceiling and I know what I can do. So you just got to keep moving.
So LA 28?
Ooh, man, I'm getting up there in age, man.
You referenced GAT earlier. I don't want to hear none of that. You got to be consistent.
No. If I'm in good health and I can get to 28, I will be running in 28.
All right.
Man, it's a lot of things, man. I want to start a family and everything like that. You feel
Bring
me? So
them.
it's, bro. Now we will be dabbling into a whole nother conversation, bro. Because I mean, y'all know me, bro. Like I'm a big family person because I ain't have family. So I know if I have a child, bro, I ain't gonna lie, track ain't gonna mean nothing to me, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not. Because at the end of the day, bro, since I was a kid, not having my father made me always want to be a father. So I know for a fact I'm not missing first steps. I'm not missing talks. I'm not missing none of that, bro. Like I was telling my wife, I said, man, you get pregnant during track season, one of them years getting taken off. I'm not missing the first of nothing. I'm look, 2027, Trayvon Bromell has declared he's not racing at all or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just always been me, bro. I've said that even before I got to the level of success that I've reached. Like if I became a father, fatherhood comes first, period, point blank.
So Trey, let us know where the people can find you as it relates to social media and your presence, and even your presence in the ministry, as I know it's something that you're extremely passionate about, sharing the word.
Man. So my main Instagram, I am Trayvon Bromell. You can also find my content on my ministry when it comes to speaking about the gospel, breaking down scripture on Real Bible Talk. I'm not gonna give you no sugar coat. I ain't gonna give you none of that soft stuff. Like we're gonna give you the real nitty gritty of these scriptures, and we're gonna try to convert and make sure your heart is truly transformed under the faith and gospel of Jesus Christ. I ain't really been on Twitter, man. Twitter let a little too much. People do too much talking. I ain't got time for that, man.
Twitter don't exist no more.
So say you old now, but you look at you
old.
Hey.
It don't even exist. So you ain't gotta worry about it.
It's too much rambling on that, man. Too much, internet gangsters and everything on that. So I don't be on that. Yeah, man. It's a lot of people that do a lot of talking on that. They ain't want to do it in person. And then I'll be on TikTok, but I'll be on TikTok for the laugh. So you ain't gonna find me on that. So Instagram, I am Trayvon Bromell, Real Bible Talk. You'll find me on that.
Listen, Trey, we appreciate you for joining us. I look forward to, obviously you returning back to the track. More importantly, appreciate your faith and perseverance and commitment to the sport of track and field, and your faith, perseverance, and commitment to your religion. I think is very commendable. And we definitely look forward to seeing you at the USATF 2025 indoor championships at Ocean Breeze coming soon. And we look forward to what you do, man, and just appreciate your time and humility, and thank you for joining us.
And hey, open invitation, big dog. Anytime you got something to say, man, come join us. We ready for you.
Oh yeah, man. No, for sure, man. I feel like my whole life I'd have said a lot, especially being in the sport at a young age. So at this point, I just let the legs do the talking now, man. That's why I don't really be on social media like that, man.
Trey just jumped in your DM, man. He done jumped in my DM a few times, like, big bro, hey man, like, hey,
as delivered as he is, I know he still got that dog in him. So I know it's gonna come out at some point.
He'll hop in that DM and let you know what he think, man. Like how you feel about it.
Man, it's all love, man. Like I said, I ain't never been that person to I ain't blasting nobody on social media. Like if it's like I love all y'all, man. Everybody that come in contact with the sport. So I feel like at any day, whether it's something I agree with or don't agree with, we talk about it amongst it like man, bro. And I don't think a lot of people realize that's how you gotta move. Like I show respect, but I can't respect somebody that don't handle business like a man. Like I ain't about to be all on that extra stuff, bro. It's all love. And if we love each other, if we respect each other, I should be able to come to you regardless if we disagree or agree.
That's a fact.
Wallace know that. We don't agree. Me and Wallace don't agree on a lot of stuff.
I already know.
Even though I ain't gonna bring up the podcast he been on talking stuff about 4x1s, but I'm gonna let that slide.
I ain't never said nothing about you, and I've wanted to say a lot.
I don't know nothing about no diamond.
I said something about you.
Hey, I got a screen recorded. I got a screen recorded.
What'd I say? Hold on, remind me real quick, because I need to hear about this.
Nah, this is what we gonna do. Hold on, wait. No, we gonna edit it in. We gonna edit it in. Send the email to Jeanette.
Hey.
We gonna edit this part.
Ain't no surprises. School me with the mystery stuff, Sherlock. What I say? On who podcast? At least tell me who podcast then.
No,
you talking about Gap podcast?
You good, boss?
We gotta get offline and figure out what's going on.
I know exactly who I was talking about, but I ain't put no names behind bro.
I'm just saying, bro.
Sorry, Cinderella. The shoe don't fit you in this case. It wasn't you.
Hey, all I'm saying is, it's a lot of disrespect when it comes to that first leg, though. Respect to Coleman, because Coleman is a phenomenal. Coleman is a phenomenal first leg.
I'm guilty too.
I expected you to talk about that today whenever we was talking about the 60. Honestly.
No.
Honestly.
No, all I'm saying is respect to CC because he's a dog on that first leg. But Wallace, I have heard you speak about this topic, and everybody has this perception. Like my 2015 leg to Gatlin wasn't butter.
2015, where was that? Beijing. Yeah, I was
Beijing.
on that team. I got hurt.
I was there. I seen
that joint was butter. I'm talking about it was not even a second in between the handoff. I'm talking about distance was perfect.
Fair, I give you that.
And I'm like, well, dang. Like I had one bad mess up in 2021, and now I'm like, I don't even get missed.
You know what? I'm not trying to be rude right now, but literally around 2015 to 16, you went from first leg to anchor leg.
That's true.
So I thought you was trying to switch to anchor.
Now, to be fair, when it came to 2016, you know what? I ain't even gonna speak on that because I look.
Why go to anchor? I didn't understand it. I still to this day don't understand that.
I don't understand why I went first in 2015 and why I didn't go anchor.
So why am I?
All right.
No,
all right.
Well, you just brought up another topic.
So.
You just brought up another topic.
That's
all
fair.
I'm saying is I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I think, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I should have been last leg in 2015. I feel like the first three legs should have been Mike to Gat to Tyson, like it was the previous years.
Okay, better.
I'll rock with that, though. I'll rock with that.
Better.
I'll rock with that.
2025 World Outdoor Championships, China, World Athletics. What's the relay? 4x1.
Man.
Spot. Mr. Hot Spot.
Because all this making it now. We done went for another 2 minutes.
Right.
We kidding. Keep it.
All right.
We.
Let me see. That's a tough one.
Back. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. That's a tough one to ask on the spot right now because I got.
It is. Yes,
check me out. I'm gonna be real. I have to see myself in the 100 meters first. I know what I can do right now through 60. I have to get through the 100 meters as a whole to be able to say where I even put my own self. Realistically, I would still keep Coleman first leg, even over myself. A lot of people don't know this because I always look.
But I know why though. I know why. But this is why I said what I said because we have these conversations. But keep going.
So check me out.
All right.
Growing up, and you can take it all the way back to 2015 if you watch the USA Championship with me and Tyson in the middle of the field. Tyson has always been the person I watched growing up. I wanted to mimic everything about my track career like Tyson, how he ran, how he caught people, everything. Hand gestures, it was all the same. I always wanted to run third leg. That was always my favorite leg I always wanted to run.
I didn't know.
So in my eyes, how if 2022 would have went the way that I wanted it to go, it would have been Coleman to Marv to me to Fred. If it would have went how we wanted to go, I feel like Marv is a great straightaway runner. Coleman is a dominant first leg. Fred is a dog, obviously coming home top end speed. And I feel like I can get the curve around and I can take this baton and give the baton. I feel like there's no issues there. The stick doesn't slow down because all first three guys are quick accelerators. And their top end is strong enough to cover 100 meters. So that's how I saw it. Or you could swap the two. I think me and CeCe's handoff would be quick as all I does, just like it was with him and Gatlin. Quick accelerator to quick accelerator. Stick does not slow down. You hit the marks perfectly. Same way why it worked with me and Gatlin in 2015, that stick did not stop. People will argue that because you got the Grants that could be a great third leg, the Arians, you got Kenny B. All those guys are great guys. From my perspective, I just don't want the stick to slow down with guys who can accelerate and also still have top end speed. That's all I'm saying. Not neglecting nobody else. I still shoot, like I said, nothing to Noah. I would put Noah last leg any given day as well. But I'm just going off of my own hypothetical off of how 2022 was with everybody running fast. We didn't need nobody else. I think we still would have got the job done. But like I said, that's just hypothetical because it went a whole totally different way. So
hindsight.
Yeah.
Well, like we said, we appreciate your honesty. I can't believe you just started that argument then said you would still put C2 at first leg, bro. I cannot believe it.
Have you ever ran third in international competition? I should know this, but I don't.
No. Only first and Only first and last leg.
So what is Christian to Fred to Trayvon to Noah run? What do y'all run?
Tell him you'll find out in China.
You definitely find out in China, but I'm gonna be real with you. I think I still swapped the other two though. I think I swapped Noah and put him second and Fred last.
Don't care about the order. You about to say you first and third, switch the other two. What do y'all run? Can you run 36?
Lord, forgive my language. Fast as hell. Fast as hell. Right, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you. Everybody healthy, running at a high level, ready to go. Bro, that stick gonna move around the track. Crazy.
You still got Kung Fu Kenny looking in there. I'm about to say you still got Kyrie looking in there.
Courtney.
Hey, I'm gonna say it on record because Wallace. I'm put Wallace on the spot with this too. We go back to even 2021 from a perspective. I do want people to understand this. As athletes, especially as an athlete who was in the situation, I'm gonna be honest right here. If it ever comes a time where somebody else is a better fit for a position, you could take me out. Because at the end of the day, the relay is about getting somebody the medal. Now, Wallace, I ain't gonna go too much into it, but you know the reason of why I said it had to go the way it went. We can talk about it more on record.
No, I gotta say this. Look, he should never say anything to me about a 4x1 because when my job was on the line, who did I put first leg? When my job was on the line, who did I put first leg?
It's true.
But you know why? You know why?
It didn't matter why. When my job was on the line, I looked you in the eyes and I said, bro, you got me? And what you said?
I mean, to be honest, I got the stick for it.
I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know what? Yeah. You right. Finish. Wrap this up, man. This is a burrito. It's a wrap. Let's go. Come on.
Hey, thank you for joining.
Hey, Wallace don't need no anger or anything.
No, we always
we good. Y'all good. Listen, we appreciate your time, Trey, man, and we definitely appreciate you joining us for another episode of USATF Journey to Goal Zone podcast. I look forward to seeing you back on the track at the USATF 2025 Indoor National Championships at Ocean Breeze.
We'll see you there, big dog. Hopefully we got a sponsor by then. We out.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you, brother.